Hi guys, Charlie Lamdin here, founder of BestAgent. Welcome to the BestAgent YouTube channel, especially to the 50 or so new subscribers that I've had in the last couple of weeks. This is a channel just for estate agents. It's where I share my thoughts and insight and suggestions for any agents who are interested. And I wanted in this video to just make clear my standpoint as far as agents are concerned. I've never been an agent. I've worked alongside agents for nearly 25 years. I understand estate agency, the processes of estate agency, as well as anybody does. Having consulted a lot of businesses, large and small, I really understand at the micro level what estate agency is. My mission is the end of bad estate agency. And that is obviously a massive, massive goal. So I wanted to make clear, because you might see me being highly critical of a lot of things agents do in my Moving Home with Charlie channel, which is getting a very rapidly growing consumer mover audience. But let me just state this first of all. I have enormous respect for anyone who earns their living as an estate or lettings agent. There are no exceptions to that except for the people who are actually deliberately deceiving people for their own profit, okay? I really do. I have respect for anyone who makes their living as an estate agent, because not only is it an incredibly important service and job that you do for people, it's incredibly difficult and complicated and massively misunderstood. In my view, it's the most misunderstood profession that there is. And you will not find a bigger fan of what estate agents do amongst people who've never been an agent like me than I am. I am the biggest fan of what estate agents do. But there is a very wide spectrum of how well and badly estate agency is done. I still respect the agents, even the ones who don't do it very well, because it is a difficult job and I don't judge anybody who does it. But having said that, at the bad end of the estate agency spectrum, people's lives, movers' lives, are being adversely affected, and that's what I want to eliminate. And at the very good end of the estate agency spectrum, people's lives are being turbocharged and they're getting a springboard into their next life, into their next home, out of one home into another. Estate agents change lives. Whether it's for the better or for worse depends on how good an estate agent you are, all right? So I am going to be increasingly calling out the poor practices that I see, because, and the BestAgent website, which has got properties for sale to less on it, and is where people come to find their agent, I'm going to be increasingly developing it in a way that it advantages agents who deliver better results and disadvantages agents who don't, all right? And it's going to be the only property site that does that, because all of the others are just there for the benefit of agents and don't really care about the movers. And BestAgent is there to make that a more equal thing, because both sides are important. And by the way, I know how badly movers behave as well, and BestAgent is going to be designed to eliminate the movers that behave badly, the time wasters, the tire kickers, the dishonest movers, the ones that leave you standing at a viewing and don't show up when an hour ago they said they were coming. All that kind of stuff. We're going to be able to similarly eradicate bad mover behavior and stop it wasting good agents' time. It's no secret at the moment, as an impartial observer of the whole moving industry, I'm not on mover side or an agent side, I'm on the side of both parties getting a better experience out of this. But estate agency as an experience for consumers is on the whole a very painful experience. And I know that that's often down to conveyancers and surveyors and other parties, lead gen companies as well, that are contributing to that poor experience. It's not just estate agents, but you guys are by far and away the most important of all those industries that movers come into contact with. And yet there's been no noticeable improvement. In fact, it's been getting a worse experience as time goes on, all right? The numbers of people who successfully sell their first agent has got worse. the time it's taking to get transactions through is getting worse. And I know that's predominantly convincing, but it's something that estate agents can influence. And the point is, the problem that I see is that everybody knows that moving is a horrific experience, but estate agents at an individual level are like, well, there's nothing I can do about that. I'll just take care of my customers. But as far as the industry is concerned, well, it's not my problem. And that leads to people continuing to indulge in poor practices that lead to movers being disadvantaged at the advantage of agents, because that's what you have to do to win business. I get it. So, I don't give blanket advice to movers. I say that your choice of agent is the single most important choice you'll make if you're selling a home to move into another one. That is a piece of advice I'll stand by and is a blanket piece of advice. You will never make a more important decision than your choice of agent if you are a seller, okay? And I haven't heard an agent that disagrees with that. There are a lot of agents who are not going to like the things that I'm saying, and I am not here to make friends with all agents. I am here to say to the good ones, you deserve more business and BestAgent is going to get that for you. To the mediocre ones, please try a bit better, a bit harder, because that effort will pay huge rewards as well as improving movers' lives. And you can do that by stopping some of the kind of slightly shady practices that aren't necessarily legal, but you know they're not really in the movers' interests. It is in your interests, but in the long term, it never works out. And to the agents who are actively indulging in poor practices, I'm going to say that I'm not going to name and shame them, but I'm going to call out those practices. And I'm going to do everything I can to help make movers aware of the warning signs and give them a heads up of how to avoid agents pulling the sharpest tricks. Because it's not fair to be making money at the expense of other people's life chances, right? I believe that very deeply. And the bad estate agents out there, I still respect the fact that that's how you make your living because it's a difficult job, but don't just tell yourselves that it's okay to treat people like that because they treat you badly. There's just two wrongs not making it right, okay? I know the public treats estate agents very badly and I hope to change that. I'm encouraging movers to not look at valuation when they're choosing an agent and to not look at fee when they're choosing an agent, but to look for the person who sounds most trustworthy, who they feel most comfortable with, and who sounds the most professional. And when they choose them for those reasons, go along with whatever their valuation is and whatever their fee is. Don't chip agents on fee because it's demotivating. And never choose an agent because their fee is cheap. Never. So I do see myself as an impartial referee, if you like, between movers and agents, as an impartial umpire, as somebody who wants better for both sides, and as somebody who wants to see an elimination of the poor practices. I don't believe in regulation or red tape. I think that just makes things worse. Honestly, it just makes things worse. It just adds pressure and cost to estate agents who've already got a very difficult job, and actually whose margins are quite small. I am not anti-corporate per se. I'm not anti-corporate agents because I know that some of the very, very best agents in the country work in corporations and they're fantastic, and those are the people I'd recommend to local movers. But I am against a lot of corporate practice, which, because of the very nature of a corporation, is there to make things better for the corporation, and it's all about the corporation's jobs. And you know, if you let customers down, well, hey, so be it. And there's the whole, oh, they're just greedy vendors, they're unrealistic vendors. Well, then you shouldn't take them on in the first place. I'm going to be increasingly helping movers spot that kind of approach to estate agency and avoid it. If I succeed, this is going to be a win-win, all right? It's going to be better for movers and it's going to be better for good agents. It's going to encourage average agents to be better, and it's going to disadvantage agents who actively carry out what I see as bad practices. And let me define what I mean by bad practice. A bad practice is where you're knowingly disadvantaging your customers and clients and movers just for the sake of improving your bottom line, okay? Knowingly disadvantaging them. If you're unknowingly disadvantaging them, that's just incompetence and it's different, and that's where I think there's a great opportunity for improvement. But if you're knowingly disadvantaging them, that's not okay. and you're telling yourselves that they deserve it because they treated you badly or whatever. No, it's not okay. It's just not okay to do that, in my view, right? You may disagree. Disagree, carry on. But if you don't disagree with that, and if you think that actually there is a better way forward for agents and movers, then I hope you will join BestAgent, which is open to all agents, by the way. Okay, it's completely open for any agent to join to receive valuation leads and viewing leads. And we will be sending to you whether you joined or not, but if you've joined, you're going to be better positioned to respond to them. There's no cost to joining. So why am I doing this video? I got into a very, very heated debate with a very well-known estate agency mentor, trainer figure who's got a whole career, lifetime career in an estate agency. And we came to blows over a point he made where he said, yes, sometimes you will take on an instruction because of the seller's over-optimistic expectations, and you will lock them into a 12 or 16-week contract. These aren't his exact words, but this is the gist of what he was saying. So you can then buy the time to get them to be more realistic about the price, so you then have an opportunity to sell them. And my problem with that is, if you take on instructions at a price that you know won't sell, well, as long as you've told the client that, that's one thing, right? If you say, look, I'd love to sell your house. If you insist on going at that high price, well, my advice is we're not going to get it, and you're going to scare people away, and it's going to look overpriced and expensive. And then when we drop the price, it's going to be harder to sell. But I'm not going to turn down your instruction. I just want you to know that my advice is that's too high a price, we won't get it. But if you're saying that that's the only basis on which you'll instruct me, okay, I'll take the instruction because I don't want to go someone else. That is not bad practice, because that is being totally upfront with the clients. But that's not what happens, is it? A lot of the time. It's just not what happens. What happens is you go, yeah, well, let's have a go. Let's see what happens. Let's have a go. Let's see what happens. Maybe we'll get the price. Maybe we'll get the price. And you kind of feed what they want to hear, which is maybe we'll get the price, without telling them what the risks are of listing an overpriced property. And then that leads to them being disillusioned, and they don't like the fact they feel misled. There've been no viewings. There've been no offers. And you go back to them and it feels like you're saying, well, told you so, or they feel misled. And maybe it was their own fault, but they feel like you knew and you didn't tell them, and they want to leave you. And you're like, well, no, you can't. You've locked into a contract now. You're stuck with us, even though you don't like it. I mean, how's that good for your brand? How's that good for your reputation? How's that good for you to get people recommending your agency to other people? It just isn't. I just think long-term lock-ins are just bad all round. The only thing they do is force a client to stay with you and force them to accept a lower price than they wanted. And you might think they deserve that, but who are you to make that judgment call, So anyway, that's my position. I know it's difficult. I know vendors are emotional. I know they're unreasonable. I know they're irrational. I know you want their instruction and you don't want your competitors to get it. So I accept the existence of a certain amount of knowing, overvaluing being done in order to get instructions, but it's how you really manage the expectations. And if you're tricking someone into a long-term sole agency that they're going to want to get out of and they can't, I don't think that's okay. All right, guys, let me know what you think privately or in the comments below this video. Let me know what you think, because Moving Home with Charlie is getting a lot of traffic and it's growing every day, and I'm getting questions from buyers and from sellers about what to do, how to choose agents, and this is the advice I'm going to be giving them. Don't choose based on valuation. Don't choose an agent based on fee. Choose them based on trust, rapport, and a feeling like they're in it with you, and then go along with whatever their valuation, their fee is. Trust your agent if you've got the right one, is my message to them, and pay the fee they ask. Right, I'll stop rambling. Have a great day. Good luck, and I look forward to talking to you in the comments. Bye-bye.